All right, Frog, let's go.
All right. Intro.
All right.
Frog, what's the intro?
You asked me to say intro.
No, you're giving us the intro.
Yeah, I did.
Look, if you don't come up with an intro, I'm just going to tell another cum story.
I like cum
Don't
stories.
make him tell another cum
I
story.
like the cum stories.
I like the cum.
I do.
Okay, fine. You want me to tell another cum story?
Absolutely, dude. I live for this shit every other week.
Okay,
Jesus
so
Christ.
now that you guys have me on Twitter, I pretty much only follow like 9 people. And most of my Twitter is taken up either by Mike's stupid-ass political posting or Stamper.
Hell yeah, comrade.
Oh, gosh. But Stamper asked a question, and I didn't respond to it on Twitter because my wife follows me on Twitter, and I really did not want to have that conversation with her. But he asked the question, he's like, where's the weirdest place you've ever masturbated? And for me, it was a funeral procession.
Excuse me?
Alright, so like, my father had a company at one point, and one of his employees, her husband died. Died. And so they had a
Yeah.
I'm aware of
celebration.
the
got it.
concept.
They had a celebration of life for him. Because it's weird. But they had a celebration of life, and my father at the time had a Cadillac Escalade from 2004.
Is he still your father now?
But I'm saying at the time, his vehicle, not my father at the time. Like, I just skin hop fathers here.
Why not?
My father had a 2004 Cadillac Escalade. And it was like one of the very first model trucks that had the tiles that you can put over the beds, like the bed cover.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know why, but I was being an antisocial little prick at the time. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to go lie in the bed while we follow the hearse to the gravesite. And so I think I was playing like Pokemon or something, and my Game Boy ran out of battery while I'm in the bed of this truck. And so I'm bored out of my damn mind. I'm like, yeah, well, it's probably going to be a few minutes till we get to the gravesite. Like, let's rub one out. So we're at a funeral procession. I'm in the bed of a truck, and I'm just beating my 14-year-old meat for everything it's worth. Like, so there you go. There's a story. There's the cum story. I didn't want to post on Twitter, but there you go.
And he knows full well that his wife will never listen to the podcast.
I do, actually.
Because she hates my voice.
She doesn't...
And she thinks Frog is a manlet.
Oh, what did she say about your voice? She said you, I don't know, like, she didn't, I don't remember what she said, but I got the implication from her that, you sounded like the kind of guy who'd win Magic the Gathering tournaments.
Hell yeah! That's my kind of fucking game! Alright, since we're telling weird stories, weird cum stories, you don't want to know the weirdest place where I've masturbated?
I'm
Public
listening.
library?
In the middle of detention at school.
Damn.
Really?
Yep, I'm not even lying.
Oh.
It was this is bad. But it's literally the day after I discovered what masturbation was.
Oh, okay, alright. Well,
Yo,
now
Teach,
we
check
gotta
this
tell...
out.
Now we gotta tell the stories of, like, when we discovered what masturbation was.
So I was like, oh man, this feels so great. And I got like, it was called, it was in-school suspension. It's where they suspend you, but
you
instead of
still have
letting
to
you
get
go
on the
home,
bus.
you stay in the class.
Yeah.
So it's not a suspension.
Yeah.
Well, they
it's-
lock you away from the other students. Basically, they find, like, a room, and they have a TA that has to spend, like, the entire day staring at you.
It's literally pointless and awful.
No, it is the dumbest thing. Like, it is, like, the bass-ackwards way we as Americans do schooling. Like, it is just the epitome of American schooling. Like, hey, this student has problems we need to address. Rather than address it, let's incarcerate this kid so he can't go to therapy while he's suspended. Like, let's incarcerate him in a room with somebody who doesn't want to do their job and have them stare disappointedly at this kid. Like, I just, at this point, I firmly believe our school system is a child prison system.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
actually, there's been
100%
some
what it
really
is.
messed up stuff I heard. Like, there was some, like solitary confinement bullshit. Holy...
Oh, what's the preschools and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they like throw the kids in a padded room when they're acting out in preschool.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, wonderful.
That's
Hell
humane.
yeah.
So the We Hate Anime podcast is sponsored by private schools. Pay the extra $50 a month, you terrible parents.
Pay the extra $50 a month to have your kid be told that the Holocaust never happened.
Look, I will have you know that the Arbeit macht frei private school is very, very popular among Aryan children.
Well, welcome everybody to the We Hate...
No. We're not doing the intro yet. You're telling me your masturbation story.
I mean, that was
Okay,
probably
okay.
what all there is to it, isn't it?
No, I mean, I didn't, like, pull out my dick and crank it. Like, I was sitting in the middle. I was wearing shorts, because I wear shorts. Even to this day, it's my
Jorts
favorite.
even.
So is it like?
Yes.
So is that thing where you like snaked into your pant leg from like your right pant leg and started tugging like?
No,
Ow.
I don't wear shorts. Like, if I had done that, it would have been very obvious what I was doing.
Okay.
But, I'm a big boy. I mean, smaller then. I was only kind of pudgy. So I just had I was sitting in the V formation, just had my hand on my lap, and was hoping no one would notice.
I
then
guarantee you somebody did, but what the hell are
someone-
you gonna do?
Someone did notice, because they looked at me, and I was like, can I go to the bathroom?
Like you're
And
in the
I- and
middle
I-
of your tremors. You're like, can I go bathroom, please?
And I went to the bathroom, I finished, and in the bathroom was a Yu-Gi-Oh card that was stuck in like the toilet paper dispenser. And in that moment I felt that was the first and last time I had a shame come, and I learned my lesson.
Dude, you're a guy like every autonomous masturbation session should be a shame come.
It is true. So Frog, tell us about your masturbation.
My parents listen to the show. Are you kidding me?
Do they really?
No.
Okay.
They know about it, so I'm not telling anything.
No. Tell us the story. I can
No
tell
chance.
you the worst time I've ever been caught.
I've never been caught, so.
No. So at one point, like I was, I'm still in high school, like 17 or 18 at the time, and I'm sitting on my bed in my room with like this crappy laptop. It was like it was a single core 1.8 gigahertz processor, and I only remember this because trying to play League of Legends back in the day on this thing was the worst thing on the planet. Had an 80 gigabyte hard drive, 1.8 single core processor, built-in graphics, whatever Intel was pushing, and like we'd put 4 gigs of RAM in it to try and speed it up. And
Hell yeah.
I thought I was quick growing up, and I thought I was real clever. So when I would look at stuff, I would always have a video playing in the background, like an actual video, like Shawshank Redemption or something. And
Yeah,
that way, if
classic.
anybody walked in, I could just tab out to Shawshank Redemption, or like whatever I was watching. Well,
I don't think you want to be caught cranking it to the Shawshank Redemption, though.
Well, the story's even worse. I think the movie that day was Pulp Fiction. And so I got some like anime up or something. And my mom comes into the room and I got a full mast erection out. Like, and the only thing blocking my mom from seeing this is the laptop. And my mom's like comes in to put some laundry away. And I'm sitting there like panicking. Like she's kind of talking to me and looking at me while she's putting the stuff away. So I can't like tuck my dick back in or anything. And so I'm sitting here with sheer, like, pants-shitting terror, like, at what's happening. And so I quickly tab out. I didn't really look at what was on the screen, but I hit the Alt-Tab to get up the video on VLC Player. And my mom comes over with underwear, which, I had a nice bed at the time. And it was, it had nightstands where I stored my underwear.
Nice.
And she comes, like, hand me my underwear, and she sees my screen. She sees me with a full-on erection, and she sees the scene from Pulp Fiction where the dude is just railing Marcellus Wallace in the ass from behind. And she looks at me, and she just, like, walks out of the room, and as she's leaving, she's like, remember to make good decisions.
Well, at least
Oh, man.
at least your mother was like, didn't like try and beat the gay out of you. Like, at least she's accepting of the
Just,
fact
like,
that
to
you
this
may have
day,
been
I'm just like-
masturbating.
We've never, ever had a conversation about it or anything. It's like, all right, this is something that happened that I don't want to acknowledge happened.
Little do you know, your mother is an avid listener of the podcast, and she's just gonna come up to you next week and just be like, so, Moth, can I call you Moth?
At that point, I'll just take the rope. Like,
I mean, you're gonna be shooting some ropes, if you know what I'm saying.
Ooh.
Hey!
I never got
so
caught
yeah, that's
before,
that,
but
that's
sorry, no, go ahead.
no. That was just the story of like the only time I think I've ever been like shame caught.
I've never been caught before, but I remember one time when my first year of college, I was doing the do or whatever, and I had a roommate at the time, and he was not there. It was like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, so I was like, oh, he's not here right now. When is he gonna be here? I hear the door start to unlock, like, oh fuck, and I have like no time basically, right? I
don't understand this. Like when I was in the Air Force, we pretty much just loudly announced to each other that they were going to go beat our dicks.
Yeah, no, not the case in this situation. So I do my best. I pull what I can up, and I just lean over, like super hunched, so that I'm just kind of doing whatever, and then just tap to whatever else. I'm like, okay, he'll leave soon. I'm sure it's fine. I'll just stay this way for a while. Keep in mind, I'm like covered in myself right now, so it's like
like your hands are dripping. You're just like, gosh dang it.
Yeah, no, my hands, my torso, it's all over my shirt now and stuff because I had to cover it all up, and so I'm just like sitting there, like just bathing in myself, and he's just like lying on his bed for the next like hour and a half, and I'm waiting for him to get a call to
At
go.
At this
with a
point,
friend or
like your
something.
hand is glued itself into like a claw, and you're just like, gosh dang it.
Yeah, I'm like on my keyboard, just like. So yeah, eventually he left and I was fine, but I was so mortified.
And at no point did he ever turn to you and say, "Hey, Frog, why do you look like the Crypt Keeper right now?"
No, he just went with it.
So
of course, because he knew it was happening.
No, he would not have stayed for an hour and a half if he knew it was happening. He would have left a long time ago.
No, he would have stayed for an hour and a half. He was waiting for you to keep going so that it could go on to full-on anarchy mode.
So this is the We Hate Cum podcast, or the
We
Cumcast. We are,
Dude, if
we are
this
the
didn't
Cum-
exist-
The only podcast that shoots ropes across the room.
If it was, it'd be so much easier if cum just didn't exist.
What?
My brain just melted.
Yeah, like,
what
what
was that?
There's no point in it. You just do it and get over with it. It's done.
Just do it. Be done with it.
Yeah. No
Oh,
residue.
Frog, I gotta teach you what a dry orgasm is.
How do I do it? I want to know that.
Welcome everybody. Let's move on.
I'm English Mike. Frog wants to know what dry orgasms are, and Moth wants to be disappointed.
I'm already disappointed. Like these are my co-hosts, and like
I don't know. Apparently, I fell down the stairs already, so you're good.
Yeah, the Frog was maybe not going to be able to make it to the podcast, and in so doing, Moth decided to announce it by saying he threw him down the stairs.
I said, he fell down the stairs.
Yeah, that's what everyone says when they throw someone down the stairs.
It's not my fault. Frog fell down the stairs.
Hey, what are those bruises for? Nothing. He fell down the stairs.
Oh man.
What about
You know
the
what's-
giant hand marks on his neck? The stairs were really aggressive that day.
Dude, what's absolutely tragic, I'm gonna bum the entire podcast talking about abusing people. But I had to take a work call to a remote village the other day. And I'm meaning like remote village, because remember I live in Alaska. And I'm not
Every
gonna
village
name
is
names or anything like that. I got a lot to say on it, but I don't want us to get canceled. But I'm in a remote village, and I get my job done at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's one flight in and one flight out every day in this village.
Oh,
And
one
it
of those.
comes in at 11:30 and it leaves at 8:50. And so I get done at 1 and I get to the airport at 2, and it's a shack of an airport. Like it's got a vending machine and that's it.
Yeah.
And so I pull up my laptop and I pull up Anno 1800 because I'm like, I should give this game a try. I bought it when it was $5 on the Epic Game Store sale. So I pull it up and I start playing it, and like 2 hours in, and I think I actually played this game for 6 hours straight. So I'm disappointed in myself for sure. But I'm playing it, and at some point during this playtime, a child like 5 years old comes up to me. He's like, playing games.
You have games on your phone?
like playing games, just like screaming it at me. And he runs up and sits down and like starts watching me. And at one point, he like takes my work laptop or my work bag that has like my work laptop and my work stuff in it, and like throws it on the ground and sits on it. I'm like, I'm not gonna be a dick to this kid. I'm gonna let this kid be a kid, and I'm not gonna be that dick that the kid remembers for years as the man who yelled at him at an airport. And so, like, I'm letting the kid watch me play, because it's a kid's game. It's not like, I think I just closed Code Vein, so it was fine for the kid to be watching what was on my screen. He's watching me play, and he's, like, asking me stuff all the time. He's like, what's this? What's this? And I'm like, this is a market, this is this. And at some point, I had to adjust, and as I adjust, the kid reeled back at 100 miles an hour. Like, I literally watched this kid yeet himself backwards from me as fast as he could, like I was gonna hit him. And I thought it was really, really odd. And then I started actually paying attention to this kid, because this kid had been, like, talking to me for half an hour, and I had not, like, actually looked at the kid. And then I realized the kid has, like, bruises on him, and he's missing teeth, and some of his teeth are chipped. And this kid can't be older than, like, 6 years old. And I'm just like... Oh... And then his mother called him. And his mother had a black eye.
Oh.
And I was just... It was one of those situations where I was like, man, I really wish I could, like, beat people.
Yeah.
That, I didn't know where that story was going.
No, it's dark. Like, we talked about masturbation, now we're talking about beating children. So, I don't know, that idea just popped in my head, and I'm not sure why, but I had to tell that story, because that story made me so mad. Like,
Did you find the husband and kick his teeth in?
No, it's actually weird recently, because I've been flying a lot of, with Alaska freezing, a lot of our sites have needed me to, like, go beat a pipe with a hammer. I've been flying a lot, and I swear I see spousal and, like, partner abuse more in airports than I see anywhere else on the planet. Like,
weird.
Yeah, like, I'll be at Walmart and I won't see anybody with a black eye. I'll be at, like, Target, and even though they're military spouses, nobody has a black eye. But then suddenly, I'm at the airport and everybody's got a black eye.
Hey, just because it's Walmart doesn't mean everyone has black eye.
The pilot beats you up.
Only the women do.
So, like, I get it, but, like, I just... Oh, man, my Walmarts are great. We could have an entire episode dedicated to the weird stuff I've witnessed in Walmart in Alaska. Like, anybody listening who lives in Alaska, like, the Muldoon Walmart, just go there 2 hours before closing and just sit in the candy aisle and watch.
See, I live in Arkansas. That's where Walmart is from.
I thought Arkansas is like where Walmart is fancy. Like, you have to still dress up to go to Walmart. Like, you have to put the moo-moo away and actually, like, wear sweatpants.
It's actually funny. There is one fancy Walmart in existence, and it's in Bentonville, where Walmart was founded, and it's the first Walmart, and they just turned it into a museum you can buy candy bars at. It's not even, like, worth thinking about.
Just Wally bars?
God, if there's a candy called Wally Bar, I've never seen it.
I want to see like right now, Wally Bar. Yeah, man, I've just witnessed the weirdest stuff at Walmart. I don't know if I told you guys the story of when I bought my Switch.
No.
No.
So we pre-ordered a Switch at Walmart like 3 months before it came out, because everybody sold their Switch, like, pre-orders, like, within 5 minutes. But Walmart, it's weird, because, like, that's how I got Death Stranding, was at Walmart. Like, everybody else sells out, but, like, Walmart never sells out of pre-orders.
It's because no one thinks about them as a video game source.
Right. And so, like, it's probably, like, 6:15 at the time. And my wife and I are sitting there, like, just trying to pre-order the Switch, because they're like, yeah, you guys, you know, you have it online, like, can we pre-order and can we pay right now for the Switch? And no, this was when we came to pick it up, because we had to sit there for an hour to wait for the store to close, because the store closes at midnight, because nothing's open 24/7 in Alaska.
Except for all the depression.
Yeah, yeah. I won't even go into that. But like, we're sitting there at Walmart waiting for midnight for them to give us the product because of the street date embargo. And while we're there, this woman with her 5 kids, like this woman in a mobility scooter with, I think it was 3. I don't want to say 5. It was like 3. And each of the kids had a different father. And the only reason I know this is because each kid was a vastly different ethnicity.
Oh.
Like, one kid was clearly like Malaysian, another kid was black, and the third one was Latino. Like, so, like, there were 3 different kids, like, with this woman, and she's sitting here in a mobility scooter yelling at the kids. I guess, like, she brought the kid to the electronics section because one of them was old enough to get his own, like, Cricket cell phone. And so my wife and I are sitting here just, like, talking with the sales clerk because he's like, yeah, I'm getting my Switch right now, too. Like, I'm so excited to play Breath of the Wild. We're like, hell yeah, Breath of the Wild. Like, yeah, Breath of the Wild. And we're just talking, and this woman's, like, screaming at her kids. And this kid's like, Mom, I found this phone. It's less than $100, and it's only $20 a month to maintain it. You know, I can afford this. Can I buy this, Mom? And Mom's like, your dad gave you the money to buy the phone. Whatever you can afford, you can get. And he was like, well, I also want to buy this game for my brother. I have, like, $30 extra after I get this phone. Do you have, like, $10 so we could get this game? He's like, you're literally bleeding me dry, Tony. You're bleeding me dry. I can't afford you. She just, like, starts screaming at this kid from her mobility scooter. Just like,
it's the most depressing episode we've ever had.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is the depressing one.
And then another kid, like, walks by, like, I get it. If a kid's at Walmart, you don't always buy them a toy.
I'm sorry I didn't do the intro, okay? Jeez.
You gonna do the intro next time, Frog?
No.
The story is building into something.
This is your fault that we're sad.
The story is building into something, though. We were talking about, they're like, so where
Yeah,
did you, like,
us
the
killing
sales clerk
ourselves.
is like, I don't have your order number for this. And we're like, yeah, we put it on, like, layaway or something, even though we paid for it. And this woman who's, like, screaming at her kids, like, that she can't afford a $5 toy for them. Like, her ears suddenly perk up. She's like, layaway? You got layaway? And he's like, yeah. She's like, I thought Sears was the only company that did layaway. And so she looks at this $250 60-inch TV, and why on God's green earth there was a $250 60-inch TV is beyond me, because, like, that's gotta have bad image quality. And she's like, can I put this on layaway? And suddenly, like, she pulls out $100 out of, like, her fanny pack in her mobility scooter. And she's telling her kid she can't afford a $5 toy for him. But, like, she's like, can I put that TV on layaway and I'll come get it once the child support payments come in?
Oh.
And I'm dying of laughter at this point. Like, I'm on the other end of the counter and I had to, like, walk over to the Xbox One section and look at the games because I was laughing too damn hard.
See, you laugh. I'm over here deeply, deeply depressed because that's my mom.
I'm sorry, Mike. Did she try to buy a TV with EBT as well?
Oh, man. Anyway, guys.
No, wait. Have you ever seen somebody at Walmart buying food with an EBT and they try to buy, like, a TV with it as well? They're like, well, it's an EBT card. I don't know why if I'm buying food, I can't buy a TV at the same time.
So, I've not seen that, but the answer's yes, because my mother has bought things that aren't food with EBT by buying food for other people.
Yeah, that's the thing. You buy a ton of energy drinks with your EBT card, and that's like street currency.
No, it's usually not energy drinks. It's usually like, hey, here's some groceries, and in exchange, can I have some meth, please?
Okay, well, now this is the We Are Depressed podcast.
Yeah.
Before we started recording, I had a tab on my web browser pulled up for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, because I don't know if I want to jump both feet into this game yet. Because I don't know, like, Xenoverse spoiled me. I get to make my own Frieza Klansman, like, I get to have fun. So, going
Maybe use
back,
the word
That is-
other than Klansman.
That's the best word for it.
Well, that's what they're called in the game. But like,
That's awful.
I don't know if I want to take a step back now and play the same story that I played in all the Budokais, all the Tenkaichi. So I
And
went
that
on,
you've watched in all the anime.
yeah. So I reeled it back and I went on Metacritic to see what everybody's saying. And this is just the most telling thing on the planet. When over half of the reviews I'm looking at here on Metacritic are written in Portuguese.
Dude, the Spanish and like the Portuguese, they all love Dragon Ball. It's crazy.
Well, no,
We should
it's,
check Steam right now and see
Portuguese
what,
is like
Quake's
the,
playing.
I think Portuguese is the native language of Brazil.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and Brazilians
Which is a Hispanic country.
love Dragon Ball Z. Like, I don't know if I told you this, but my buddy, him and I play PUBG all the time. He lives in Argentina. He actually told the story of like, because I guess Brazil and Argentina are really close to each other.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, he told the story of like he was in Brazil and he watched a dude just get stabbed over a Goku figure in an anime store.
I believe it.
We could just ask Quake about this. He works in one of those stores.
Does he really?
Yeah, he that's how he got into Gunpla. He just works in one of those stores, and like me and Daddy Dave were talking about it on Discord so much that he just bought a kit and now he's obsessed with it.
Yeah, I see. That's how I'm feeling with my Warhammer. Because as it like, I've reached the point where I think I'm a true Warhammer like painter. I have 6 models sitting here from 4 different armies, and I all of them are half painted. And I got like 2 commissions from friends. I got a commission from my little brother. I got my own models I want to paint, and I'm just like, man, I hate this.
Yeah, it's you either have to like, because I'm into Gunpla. I haven't built a Gunpla in almost like 8 months now. I need to, because Quake actually sent me some, and he said, "Hey, yeah, all you have to do is build these and take pictures with them, and we're all copacetic." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I'm looking at the boxes right now.
No, that is not what you do. When you start Gunpla, you're like, oh yeah, I put these together and I use cutting scissors. Yay, life is good. And by the time you're 3 years into it, you're like, okay, I have to get this very special highlighting pen. And I have to sit there and I gotta draw little lines along where the cracks meet so I can add definition to the models. And I have to make sure I very gently shave plastic off the leg joint here. And then I gotta make sure I use an airbrush to spray in the metal part so that you can see the exoskeleton, or the endoskeleton. Then you gotta
Is
figure out the
Gunpla the only thing
endoskeleton.
worse than Gacha? I'm considering this now.
No, it's not worse than Gacha because you get what you get. Like, you go to the store and
That
you're
is
like, hey,
true.
do you have the 19th perfect grade version of Unicorn Gundam?
People who have hobbies disgust me.
Why?
I feel so shamed right now.
What's wrong
As
with
someone
having a
who
hobby?
plays gotcha games, and Moth, the person you just described, except for the airbrush, because I never had money for one, I literally have several highlight pens, and
Yeah.
I even dab at the lines so that they aren't completely black, so that it looks like there's more like actual like shadow there, and you just like shamed the fuck out of me.
No,
and it
I
makes
didn't.
me really uncomfortable.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with what you just described, man. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it because
Wink.
like, you have a hobby. You have a hobby. Gunpla makes you happy. Like,
I have like
Warhammer
15 built kits.
Yeah, Warhammer 40k and BattleTech make me happy. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing a hobby that makes you happy,
Unless
as
it's
long as
cringe.
it doesn't involve somebody crying in a basement.
Frog, what makes you happy? Oh, that's right. Nothing, because you're a piss baby.
Yeah,
Yes.
like Frog is this, like, he is the scared Zoomer, where he's seen the millennials get beaten down so much for things they like that he's like, maybe I don't want to actually like anything.
I've decided I don't want to enjoy things. That's my new modus operandi.
Well, come on, you gotta have something you like, man. Like, other than, taking screen caps of underage girls in an anime and posting them on the chat.
I mean, when
Like,
you
what
say
do
it like that,
Hey! Oh, I thought he was talking about me for a second.
it's talking about how my Isaac posting is going crazy.
Like, this guy right here, like, I love Golden Kamui. And Golden Kamui has a lot of scenes in both the manga and the anime where you can screen cap it, and it's an impactful scene, and it's great. And I get it. If you're like, oh man, this picture is totally making fun of The Last Supper. Whatever. But this guy right here just screen caps any time she's on frame. And it's like,
Asakusa from Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken is precious. She's a good frog.
yeah, it's just like any time she's on frame, like Frog takes 20 pictures of it and sends it to us.
Yeah, and I thank him for his work.
I don't think we got to talk about this entire show like in a minute. But.
Well, no, what we decided, just so everybody knows, is normally we'd be doing a seasonal review, but we just got done doing Anime of the Decade, and I have absolutely no desire to critically analyze anything.
Moth, you've never had the desire to critically analyze anything.
I have now decided that mensch no longer write manga, and this is not me being like a sexist, like, social justice warrior. I found out that pretty much all of my favorite animes are written by women, with the exception being like Golden Kamui. Dorohedoro, written by a woman.
Yes.
Yeah, Q's a lady.
Demon Slayer, written by a woman.
Yes.
Okay.
I got nothing. Full Metal Alchemist,
Right.
written by a woman.
Correct.
Yes.
Sailor Moon, written by a woman. Inuyasha, written by a woman.
The fact that Inuyasha is like one of the ones that pops into your mind as a favorite says a lot about you.
Moroku was probably the first character I ever considered legitimately cosplaying as a kid.
He's like everything you hate. He's a fucking pervy bastard.
Yeah, but he's so sincere about it.
It's fine as long as you admit that you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Nico Para, written by a woman.
Nico Para?
Nico. I'm not going to say that. I just cringed.
Break your kneecaps. But like, no. Here's my thing with Moroku. Like, and I've said this before. I have more respect for Queen's Blade than I do Girls Last Tour, because Queen's Blade is like, hey, you want to beat your meat?
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Girl, fuck you. Shut up. I don't even have a counter argument because you're not making an argument. Shut up.
Girls Frontline or Girls Last Tour, whatever. Girls Last Tour is mental masturbation. It is heroin for the sad boy to appreciate something comfy.
Girls Last Tour is about two girls in a post-apocalyptic environment trying to survive.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
So comfy. Like, it's nothing bad is ever going to happen to them. Just enjoy these two potatoes driving around in their broken-ass vehicle while they stare at stuff. Like,
sure hope they don't go hungry in this episode.
Well, yeah, it's this comfy, boring anime, whereas Queen's Blade is like, hey, you want to see big old titties fighting and stuff? Yeah, you do. We're not going to pretend this isn't it.
In the second episode of Queen's Blade, there is a character whose breast milk is acid. And it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
What's that other anime that everybody was obsessing about like 4 years ago? Kaijo? The one where they like wrestle with their asses?
Keijo?
It was like Keijo, and it was like not 4 years ago. It was like 2 years ago.
Like, I respect that anime because it doesn't pretend it's not something that it is. Like, it absolutely is shameless fan service with a little bit of comedy. Like, and that's great.
Actually, it's a sports anime.
It is absolutely not.
It is actually a sports. You didn't watch it. Like, shut up.
No, I understand the premise is based around a sporting event, but, like, you can only give an anime 2 tags, and I give it ecchi and comedy.
No, it's ecchi and sports anime.
I got a lot more comedy vibes from it.
It's because it was... the whole shamelessness
that's why Girls Last Tour is not seinen or anything like that. It is tagged as comfy and potato.
They don't call it comfy.
I'm not familiar with the potato genre.
Yeah, I mean, neither,
it's pretty much the genre where the characters look so appalling that I could trust a 12-year-old to draw something better. And that's Madoka Magica, Girls Last Tour.
No, that's actually insulting, because Girls Last Tour's artist is actually incredible.
I'm sure. I mean, technically that's the same category that Made in Abyss falls into.
What? Anime is gorgeous.
Moth continues to invalidate his existence. Anyway, guys, I've been playing some video games. And by some video games, I mean I've been playing a series of fucking visual novels.
Oh, that's not
Zero
Escape games. I
played that on the DS.
Yeah, the first one, the 999, was on the DS.
Yeah, I played that on the DS, and I got to the point where there was that really hot chick, and you had to make the decision to either betray her or not betray her. And no matter what you did, she backstabs you. If you betray her, she's like, "Why did you do that?" And if you don't betray her, she's like, "Of course I betrayed you."
Yeah, you then didn't play the first one, 999. You played Virtue's Last Resort, Reward, which is the second one.
Yeah, and I was so bored with how much reading there was, I went back to Persona 4.
It's literally a game series where the writing in it's phenomenal. It's a mystery series.
I don't want to read.
Sorry. I don't want to read. Like, don't do this to me, Mike.
It's a series. It's a mystery series, and in between, doing the whole reading, which Moth doesn't know how to do, and Frog is averse to, you solve some of the most fucking mental puzzles I've ever fucking had to fucking figure out in a game.
Apparently, you never played like the OG Monkey Island games.
Fuck you. Those. Knowing to put together cheese, no, not cheese, it was fucking glue and like a rag so that you had a wig so you could do a thing, that's dumb. Fuck you.
Yeah, and that's still more intellectually creative than the bankrupt Danganronpa games.
I'm not talking about Danganronpa.
That's the same series!
It is not, no, it's not. They're both series by Spike Chunsoft, but they're not the same game. They're not by the same writers. They don't have the same visual design, and they one is not a puzzle game and one is. I mean, I guess they're technically both puzzle game visual novels, but one of them is the whole thing about 999 is that they are escape room puzzle games.
I don't even like escape rooms the way it is. You know why? Because escape rooms are like the idea of a Mormon being risky and having fun for his date. Like, no, you don't understand. Like, escape rooms are super popular in Utah right now. Like, Mormon Central. And, like, any Mormon who likes to seem, like, daring and creative, he's not like, hey, let's go paintballing, or, hey, let's tie rats to bottle rockets. He's like, hey, let's go to an escape room.
You're so self-flagellating with this Mormon thing.
Oh, it's like, it's one of those things, it's like, I love my religion and the teachings. I can't stand the community. And it sucks because I'm one of those people who actually believe that you need to go to an organized group to do the right thing, because that's literally what happens in the New Testament. I'm not going into the Bible on this podcast. But, like, I'm one of those people that actually believe, like, you have to congregate to get the
religious
full effect
argument
of a religion.
Podcast.
This is the We Hate Religion podcast, the only podcast that hates Moth.
And these guys, like, make it horribly intolerable to deal with. And so it's like, oh boy, let's go do an escape room. That's fun and quirky. I'm like, okay, cool. Can we go to one where, like, they threaten to murder us with a chainsaw? No, I want to go to Montezuma's Pyramid. It's my favorite Egyptian escape room.
But if you know it already, why would it be fun?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the guy who's already gone to this escape room 3 or 4 times, like, let's go to this escape room so I can appear to be really smart for my date. Like,
why would the Egyptian escape room be called Montezuma's Pyramid?
My gosh. That's what happens when, like, your target demographic is a bunch of accountants and, like, soon-to-be lawyers. They don't know anything. That's the thing. You want to know what the Mormon job is? Like, what we all do? We either end up as doctors or accountants.
Damn.
So Zero Escape. These games are really weird and fun. The writing's really interesting. And the mystery, like, going into the second game, I knew the big twist. Neither of you are going to play it. So the big twist is that the bad guy is the main character. And it's not fair to say he has amnesia because he doesn't. But he doesn't know that he's the bad guy.
Adachi?
And it would make sense, but I can't describe it. It's not amnesia though, Moth, so shut the fuck up. But basically, like, the writing's really engaging, the character's really cool, and the puzzles make my head hurt. I have a fucking Google Doc that I use for taking notes, so that I can solve the puzzles. Because, in fact...
Go ahead, never mind, go ahead.
In the second game, there are a series of 5 passwords that if you know them when you get to the puzzle, you can enter them in. But if you don't know them, you have to go looking for them. And they all are behind different endings. And the only way you could know them is by writing them down. Because it's not like, oh, if you find them, you'll get to that, and then the game will remind you, oh, you know this password. No. The game expects you to have access to that knowledge from somewhere else. And even, all the games even include in them memo taking, notes where you can I'm gonna write down a little note. Now, granted, I play this on PS4. I mean, I can't really write in notes on there with a fucking joystick. But, on Vita and DS, which the first game was on DS, second game was on Vita, and the third game is on PC, you can write the notes down. In fact, all the games are on PC now because they released a collection of the first two. But these games are fucking gnarly. I'm currently playing the third one, which is really weird. They instead of being a visual novel, it's just, here's some cutscenes, which makes it harder to take notes. So if someone says something important, I usually end up having to die and then replay that segment, which makes it kind of frustrating, but it's fine. These games are... No one cares about visual novels, it's just me.
No, this sounds like homework.
I mean, yeah, it's puzzle solving.
This actually sounds painful to do. I just, rather than play a video game, Mike, would you just rather, put a 9-volt battery up your lubricated asshole? Because you're probably getting the same effect at that point.
Moth does not understand how it can feel good to play a puzzle game.
Look,
I really wish Mara was here.
I understand.
I really wish Mara was here. If Mara was here, I'd have an intellectual to talk with.
I understand wanting to suffer to enjoy a video game, because I got to level 90 in Rainbow Six Siege when my kill-to-death ratio started to finally be positive. I understand suffering to enjoy a game. What I don't understand is a game making you do homework like this.
You don't fucking study, you solve puzzles.
By
logic
studying.
Puzzles.
I liked Phoenix Wright. That was a fun game.
How is writing down a note to remind you of something studying?
That is exactly what studying is.
No.
That is by definition writing something down to
I don't
review
know,
it
man.
later.
This is a meaningless distinction.
You are mentally ill, sir.
Yeah, and at least
you've
I
never
don't
felt
enjoy
the
doing
catharsis
homework
of
for fun.
You have no idea how amazing it feels to get into in the second game of this series, one of the hardest puzzles for me is one of the first puzzles, and that's hard for me because I'm bad at math. And it feels so good to solve that by yourself.
It just sounds like you're punching yourself in the dick.
No, because it doesn't hurt to solve a puzzle. I mean, it might hurt you. Your brain is the size of a peanut.
Here's the thing. Go play Phoenix Wright then. That's a fun, visual novel, puzzle-solving game with a lot of heart to it.
Many thoughts, head full.
If they release those on the Switch, I probably will. Because I
thought they did.
No.
But
they re-released them on the 3DS, and I'm not buying anything for my 3DS.
But honestly, just play Phoenix Wright then. Crying out loud.
Oh, and I'm sure I will enjoy Phoenix Wright. In fact, I've played the first case. I know I like Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah, it's really fun. But so are these games. These games are phenomenal.
No, phenomenal. It's homework. Please, no. But
no,
speaking of painful things, there's one other thing we actually have planned on the script today, and that's it.
It's something that Frog refuses to watch.
I'm not going to
watch
your
how
dumb
much
show.
I hold him down. Yeah, it is a dumb show. It's not my dumb show. It's no one's dumb show. No one wanted this. No one asked for this. It's Thundercats Roar.
You know what? This is actually... I don't think anybody would have a hot take in saying this is bad. And here's what's so funny to me. OKKO had the exact same style. To the letter. And I enjoyed OKKO.
That show looks good, though. That's weird.
Yeah, OKKO is the exact same show.
Moth, what is your experience with Thundercats? I gotta ask.
I watched the show in the 80s. I remember being on the Cartoon Network website in like 1999 and playing the crappy Flash games they had back then. And the Thundercats one was the only one with any depth to it because it was basically a NES level platformer like Castlevania. Like, I know Thundercats. I didn't watch the 2011-2012 version. My wife watched that and liked it. But like, I respect Thundercats. I realized that a lot of the people that worked on the original Thundercats went on to become Studio Ghibli animators. Like, there's a lot to love with Thundercats.
Yeah, and even the old anime, it's not really an anime, it was made for Western audiences, but it's basically an anime. Even the old anime is, it's kind of holds up in places. It's still really rough to watch in the same way that, like, G.I. Joe's rough to watch, but it's a lot better than G.I. Joe. I am a fan of the original. I am also a fan of 2011, and when it didn't get renewed for its second season, I felt pain inside my chest. Because 2011 has, like, Thundercats 2011 has some amazing episodes in it. There's an episode where they're traveling to get one of the MacGuffins, and on their travels to get it, they meet a race of bug-like creatures, and they're like,
Wait,
hello,
what's
can
a
we travel
MacGuffin?
with you?
What's
up?
Let's pretend I don't know what a MacGuffin is. We're doing this for the audience. What's a MacGuffin, Mike?
It's necessary.
Come
on, spit it out.
A MacGuffin is a plot device that is poorly explained.
No, easier. Simpler.
All right, I'm looking it up for the audience right now, Mike. What is a MacGuffin?
MacGuffin is a Horcrux.
What is a MacGuffin?
God damn it.
A MacGuffin, an object or device in a movie or a book that serves merely as a trigger for the plot. So, in this instance, it's like the ring from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait.
I mean, yeah, yes, literally.
Yes. I had to think about that for a second, because I don't like Lord of the Rings.
And you also don't like Moth being right.
That's... it's hard to like something that doesn't exist.
Whoa.
Anywho, there's this fantastic episode from 2011, where they meet these they're basically like leaf fairies, and they befriend them. And then as they're walking, like, you get to experience something, and it's these leaf people, they age in a day. Their entire lifespan is within a single day. They have children, they reproduce, and
That was an episode of Stargate.
It's really fucking depressing. Cause it's a show from 2011 for kids that tackles, like, the inevitability of death. And, like, there's no, like, way that, oh no, they don't survive in the end or nothing. No, they die because they're old. And it's like, wow, that's a good, and it was a fantastic package to show kids that death happens. It was good. That show is really, yeah, Frog, death does in fact happen. It was a really good show, and then fucking Thundercats War came along, and in the very first second of the very first episode, it shows the home planet of Thundera, and then it explodes.
Yeah, they straight up murder it.
And then the fucking former Ghost King is like, everything explodes sometimes. Like, what is the concept of death to these people? Why did you start the show here? Why weren't they just already on the planet, you fucking weirdos?
You gotta realize, it's the Cal art style. And I gotta clarify something.
No, don't start with this bullshit.
Go away,
No.
Fuck you.
Shut up. My wife crucifies me enough for this crap the way it is.
This is
all right?
stupid.
Then stop.
I realize the Cal art style is a rude thing to say because it's not really indicative of a specific way of drawing, but rather a method in which you can quickly produce stuff.
Not even that. It just doesn't exist.
It's
it
just
does
a
exist.
blanket. It's just a blanket term for any character who has a specific head design, and it's not even like consistent. People call Steven Universe Cal Arts.
It is.
And then they also call fucking that show I like that I forget the name of
Gravity
that had
Fox?
Dan. Gravity Falls. Then they call Gravity Falls fucking Cal Arts.
Gravity Falls is not Cal art style. But
People call it Cal Art style.
Well, you could actually, you could sit down and you could go, okay, Uncle Grandpa, no. Craig of the Creek, yes. Steven
No,
Universe,
there's
yes.
100% people that
Thundercats
will
Go,
fucking call
yes.
Uncle
OKKO,
Grandpa Cal
yes.
Arts.
And here's the thing. In theory, I get why it exists. And it's a quick way to speed up animation and stuff like that.
Stop. I'm gonna fight you. CalArts does not exist. Stop using the term.
Yes,
I mean,
the CalArt
CalArts
style
does
does
exist.
exist.
No, the CalArt
Just-
style does not exist because it's just a trend. There's a thing as you know. Remember when someone posted a photo of like
Fine,
50s
then it's the
cartoons? They all look
CalArts
the
trend.
exact same. No, it's not. It's nothing to do with CalArts.
It is absolutely the CalArts. Here's the thing, though. Like, I cannot believe that Cartoon Network, which was the consistent groundbreaking, because they got Pendleton Ward and they got his Adventure Time, and you got things like The Amazing World of Gumball, and even before that you had Samurai Jack, and I think the Clone Wars was originally on Cartoon Network as well. Like, you
Both
had
versions.
all of these phenomenal, groundbreaking designs in animation. And even Uncle Grandpa, as much as I hate it, is kind of like a throwback to the Angry Beavers era and whatnot. But then, like, all of that has halted, and I don't blame her specifically, but, like, the moment Rebecca Sugar walked through those doors, Rebecca Sugar, being an amazing musician and amazing storyteller, like, comes in, and now everything looks exactly the same to me.
You
What?
were literally just a fucking boomer.
Like, I cannot tell Craig of the Creek and Steven Universe apart. I'm sorry.
What? Craig of the
Both characters have an afro. Like,
A
Kind of an afro.
no. B go one of the characters is a white male and the other a white
he
you know
is
what I mean.
a pink male, thank you. Because Steven
no.
Universe Future is amazing, and it
Actually,
I love it.
Steven Universe is non-binary, so males. I mean, arguably the wrong term to use. But regardless, the other
Is
one
he
is a
canonically-
black male.
Is he canonically non-binary?
Yes,
Are you sure?
yes.
Okay.
Did they say it?
Well,
Yeah,
I think all the
does
gems
the
are
show ever
technically
say it?
non-binary, despite what the
No,
zone would have you believe.
the gems are. It's not that they're. Yes, they are non-binary, and they use she pronouns. All the gems.
Wild. You can do that? I have no idea how this works.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Let's have a quick let's have a little quick class about non-binary.
No, I'm
non-binary
not going to
gender.
have a class about non-binary because as somebody who was like at one point going in for computer programming, this is a nightmare for me.
Oh, shut up! Go away! You're canceled, old man.
That's a good joke.
Look, just right? Like, for me, there really are only two possibilities, 0 and 1, and you're coming in here saying non-binary. I'm like, there ain't no 2, bitch.
So Thundercats Roar is an experience in mental fortitude.
It's a solid joke.
No,
God.
like, Thundercats Go is just... Or Roar, sorry, not Thundercats Go. Thundercats
It's the same thing.
Here's the
I have
thing,
multiple
I
times
actually
called it
also
Thundercats Go.
like, I like Teen Titans Go. I know that's
Sorry to hear about
unpopular.
that. Oh, fuck. So did you watch both the episodes or just one of them of Roar?
I just saw like a bunch of screen grabs off Twitter. I couldn't sit down and watch it.
Oh my god, how am I the only one who actually watched this garbage?
Because
It's
this
only
is your
20
podcast,
minutes.
Mike. This is Mike tags along two happy dappy retards by a rope. Like,
You fucking... I
And
think
one
you
of
even
them's
were
in the
like, hey,
corner.
have you guys seen Roar? And I didn't respond to you because cringe, and then I decided to watch it because I thought you'd actually watched it.
no, literally, this is you trying to keep a podcast together while one of us is eating paint chips in the corner going, yeah, these vibe. And the third guy is like trying to pick a fight with every vendor at the store.
You guys
So
watch...
Thundercats...
Now we're
Thundercats
still on
Roar
this? Okay.
is completely free on Cartoon Network, and everyone should watch it.
I'm
so
still
the
gonna
brain can
pirate
come
it.
out. Do it. I don't care. It's so bad, and the writing's bad, and the characters are bad. Like,
I mean, it's not trying to
Lion-O
be
is...
a character piece anymore, I don't think. I don't know. I didn't know what the original was, but...
Well, here's the deal.
If we're talking about things that like, if we're talking about things that are disappointing, can I mention the fact that Bolin not ending up with Eska at the end of The Legend of Korra makes me really angry to this
This is
day.
off the cuff.
Yeah, this is completely.
Well,
out of
we're talking
nowhere.
about like disappointments, and somebody just posted like some fan art of Eska on one of my timelines, and I was like, "Damn, she was
All I know
hot as hell."
about Eska is Escanor, and you see that fight from the new...
Oh gosh. Hey guys, Gintama actually had an episode dedicated to that, where they like joke
Oh,
about the
man.
fact that like our budget runs out mid-episode.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Did you not see
Okay, so
There's a Seven Deadly Sins as a show, probably? and they had an episode that didn't look very good.
Oh.
Ask the funny. Ask the
Oh
funnies.
yes. Seven
but
Deadly Sins.
it's not
is
just that it
boring
didn't
One Piece.
look very good. It's that it's like this is Seven Deadly
No,
Sins.
it looked awful.
If I go to a convention right now, the insecure 15 to 17-year-old girls who go, ooh, woo, I'm a lesbian who loves Undertale, they're either going to cosplay as a My Hero Academia person in one of their gym suits, or as the main character, Seven Deadly Sins. So Seven Deadly Sins, I would say right now is one of the top 10 most popular animes in the world. And they just committed an
that.
irredeemable war crime in the animation.
No, it's something like the Black Clover Camp, where people who like it, and everyone else is just like, what?
Yeah, but here's
Yeah.
the thing: like the Black Clover Camp is very, very small. I would say if I
it's
went
not
to
as
the
small as you-
average,
Yeah, honestly,
Moth, you still haven't put your toe in on Shonen Twitter.
anime
It's
Twitter's
li- people
real-
are
because
obs-
like every time I try to
people
get
are
into anime
obsessed.
Twitter, I have to deal with you trying to rebuild the Communist Party in the United States. I'm like, holy
What?
crap!
Hey, I cannot help that the revolution is coming, and I hope you both are on the right side of history.
I'm on the right side of history. I'm white.
That's a big laugh.
I wasn't expecting it.
You know, I think I remember like episodes 1 through 5 of this podcast. It's like I am not going to reveal my power levels. I'm just going to be the stupid guy who has bad opinions on things. And now I'm just at the point where I'm like, forget it. If I get canceled, I get canceled.
And
Here's where
in the
you
background, as
express
you were
your,
saying that,
your
you could hear
support
me
for the white
charging my
nationalist
key
party.
like, now I've gone full super fucking suck just.
No, I don't. I'm not getting into politics, but like, don't peg me that way, Frog, because that's wrong.
I'm just fucking making a Jew.
Yeah, don't peg him like that. You got to use your hips more.
I hate this joke. I don't like this. For like a
Speaking,
week.
speaking of using your hips more, because I'm derailing this again. I was
This is the
cuddling,
least anime show we've ever done, I think.
I was cuddling with my wife the other day, which is a feel,
Nice.
and I love
Cringe.
it. And I looked her right in the eyes, and I was like, "Man, wouldn't it be romantic if I was epileptic?"
Oh,
she was
Oh, you
like-
tweeted about this.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, like, just imagine if, like, you know, you and I were just going at it, you know, missionary style or something, and suddenly I just had a seizure. Like, you wouldn't even need a vibrator at that point because I would be able to do both jobs. Like, just be like, baby, I didn't know your dick bent like that." And I just be like, and
It's a lot of stuff going on in this show.
and she was laughing for like 10 minutes straight, and I'm just like I thought it was kind of a throwaway joke. I was like, yeah, this is kind of funny, whatever. But she's like, why is my husband so dumb? Like,
This has, I think, been the We Hate Anime
no,
podcast.
Mike, we got another 15 minutes, man.
the
Wait, we've
only
already been going an hour?
podcast that
Oh my
Come on,
god.
Mike, you can last an hour.
I can actually last at least 3 hours. I have a pretty high stamina.
Damn.
It's actually the worst because I also have low. I'm not very flexible, so like I have high stamina, but I can only do like 2 positions, so it's like boring.
Like, you know, I kind of, like, I've gotten to the point where I work out now that I'm pretty sure I could do the one where I bend my back all the way over and grab my ankles. And I don't know what I'm doing at that point, but, like, I'm pretty sure that's a position. Like, I could just roll like a wheelbarrow at them.
You just flop your dick,
barely
and you shift your dick downwards when you're rolling, so you
Yeah,
get
I
catch
call
air.
it the tire press maneuver. Yeah.
Uh,
But I did
just
want
call
to
it
talk to you guys about
Tuesday,
something,
but-
because believe it or not, we're all podcasters together, but
Wow.
we
yeah,
don't spend a lot
believe
of
it
time
or not,
together.
18 episodes in, we're all podcasters.
But
crazy.
we don't spend a lot of time together, and we broke that mold this week. We all sat down for a few hours to be with our friend Frog, who's couldn't make it this episode. He fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
We,
I'm
we
having
all,
a stroke.
we all got around with our friend Frog, and we started watching a fighting game tournament. And this is probably a common experience for Mike and Frog, but for me, this was new. This was brand new. And
What,
like,
watching
no,
a fighting game tournament? I think...
like, I've been inside a Pizza Hut factory before, and I still had not seen as much grease as I did at this fighting tournament.
Oh, God. I see where...
Like we were watching it. I came in for about an hour before I had to go do something, but we were watching these guys play. I think it was BlazBlue Continuum Twilight of the
Essential
God
Fiction.
Shift.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
Essential Fiction. And we were watching this one fight. It was the only one that really stood out to me. Is this girl. Like, she sat down and she looked really well put together. Like, she was like, hey, I'm going to be on a national...
Lolita cosplayer.
I'm going to be on a national stage. I want people to see me and I want to look good. And she made herself look appealing. And she sat down next to this troglodyte chud of a human being.
The human equivalent to cock musk.
Yeah, like, I just, honestly, like, his entire body probably smelt like unclean foreskin. Just, like, sits down next to her. And they're playing, and she's having fun at least. And I'm watching this dude, like, she beats him in the first round. I think he ends up winning, but she beats him in the first round. And he starts, like, hammer fisting his fight stick angrily, like, just throwing a tantrum at the fact, I think it was because he lost to a girl.
I don't
oh yeah, definitely.
I think you're remembering
These
it a little bit wrong.
femoids.
And so, like, I think he ends up eventually winning by just cheesing her to death.
No, the guy was actually, like, not bad. He went pretty far.
Well, like, he ends up winning, and then he, like, gets up, and everybody else I watched, like, I think I watched 3 or 4 fights. Everybody else, like, shook hands or fist bump. Like, he couldn't even make eye contact with this girl, like, stands up and almost, like, falls off the stage, getting away from her as fast as he can.
And he ran off, too.
Yeah,
to, like,
he
I think
sprinted
the
off the
bathroom.
stage so fast that people had to catch him and be like, hey, dude, calm down.
Dude, Moth, you should have stuck around, because after that tournament was over... no, wait, wasn't after that tournament. Beautiful Dude, was he in that tournament, too?
Beautiful Dude
Yeah,
was
no,
in
I watched
Leslie,
the Beautiful Dude fight, yeah.
Yeah,
With the eye
Beautiful
patch?
Are you
Dude.
thinking of Beta Dude? Beta Dude's also is there.
Beta Dude was Frog.
He looks a lot like me.
Unfortunate. Beautiful Dude was this... He was a handsome man.
Eye patch wearing...
Yeah.
Dude, at one point, like, he lost the set and then he took his eye patch off. It was,
He
like,
revealed
so
his true
fucking
power.
cool.
Punished Beautiful Dude.
Dude, that dude was beautiful. I would 100% let him put his baby gravy in my Batcave. Holy shit. That was a lot of fun. And then it came down to some Steven Universe looking kid versus who's he fighting? Was it
What, the final match? That was Beta Dude
yeah.
versus someone.
So it was Frog versus Steven Universe in a Kill Bill jacket.
Elion,
And,
it was Elion.
Yeah, Elion. And it was so fucking crazy. It was the first time I ever, because I don't actually watch fighting game tournaments, but it was the first time I ever, like, engaged with one, and I was rooting for someone, and I saw the Twitch chat, and everyone was like, hey, at one point someone was like, you know what? Elion may not beat Beta Dude, but at least he defeated the Coomer Menace. And it was like, yes, I've invested in this story.
Yeah. That's
It
fighting
was-
games, man.
It was mesmerizing, and
If
it
anyone
made me want to do
has
more.
not played fighting games, but wants to play fighting games, talk to me. Please.
No,
Fuck
if
that.
you want to get into fighting games, this is what you need to do. Go take Toaster Bath.
Or play Unist.
Actually,
That's the same thing.
with the new Guilty Gear coming out, go on YouTube, try to find the most coherent tutorial videos where a guy talks about juggling, where he talks about the different types of fighters, understand what you're getting into, and then realize that you're now going to spend the next 3 months of your life with one character in the practice stage, learning juggling, learning combos, then going online with a very, very bad internet connection where people will leave the moment you start doing better than them, and just get your dick stomped for 3 months straight, and maybe, just maybe, you might end up at a fighting game stage for your very obscure single game that gets played for a year straight and then gets thrown under the bus, and now you gotta learn a whole new game that's nothing like the previous game you just played.
Or play Uni, which gets updates and versions that have the same characters in it.
That made me really sad, Moth, because the only fighting game I ever got into was Persona 4 Arena.
That's a great fighting game.
It is. It's a great fighting game that's dead.
Well,
Yeah, just play
Arena
BB Tag.
Ultimates-
It has the Persona characters in it.
Fuck you, I'm gonna play BB Tag. Eat my dick.
It has
That
freaking-
game is a sin.
It has Blitztank in it, dude.
Blitz Tank is cool, but it's not I just want to be Chie, and I want to kick people with my strong legs. That's
You can
all I
do
want.
that and also play Blitztank on the same team in BB Tag.
Instead of
Alright.
doing that, I'll shove my dick in a shredder and I'll have more fun.
BB Tag's fun. It's not as good as like Unist.
You know, speaking of fighting games, there's one thing that I really can't stand in fighting games, and I know this is going to get me crucified by the fighting game community.
Combos. I don't care for them.
No, I hate
Confirming,
tag-out fighters.
not my thing.
I hate
Wait,
tag-out
did you
fighters.
just-
No, I'm not a huge fan.
Did you just call Hyper Fighters tag out fighters?
No, it's like a term for them. Like, I'm not for Hyper Fighters and Tag Out Fighters are not the same thing necessarily. Like,
Okay.
Well, no, like, I kind of appreciated Skullgirls because I could choose to just be one character.
yeah, I like that.
Tekken Tag Tournament, I could choose to be one character, even while my buddy has 3 characters, and I just have to realize, while I have a larger health pool, he's got 3 fighting styles to hit me with.
Problem with that is that you can do infinites in Skullgirls pretty much. So, even if you pick the one character, you can still get like TOD'd. I'm pretty sure.
Hell
Yeah, so
yeah.
so my big thing is, like, I just do not like tag out fighters. I get what they represent. I think I like the way Marvel vs. Capcom did it the most, where, like, every time you lose a round, you lose a fighter, and you just have a roster of the 3 that you're going to cycle through.
I think that's.
I like
I think that's
that.
King of Fighters. I think. Because
No,
Marvel
that
vs.
is-
Capcom does definitely
well,
not do that. I'm pretty sure you can fight with all of them all the time.
King of Fighters does do that. He probably just played the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and didn't know you could switch his character.
Well, I was playing it on my PS Vita, so that's probably realistic.
Dude,
But,
I love Hyper Fighters. I like you know what? I like tag fighting games. They're fun.
I just when they try to incorporate it into Mortal Kombat, I'm like, stop, please.
They did that.
I mean, Mortal
Yeah,
you can
so
only
in Mortal-
really do it in
Mortal
like
Kombat.
fast-paced
There is a
games.
tag
That's
mode.
weird.
It's 2v2, and actually, you can. This is where it becomes a party game. You can do 2v2, and each of you and your 3 friends are a fighter.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's actually awesome. But like on a competitive stage, not as fun as a party game.
That's because like I absolutely cannot stand Mortal Kombat, and it's because it's slow.
It's not slow though. Like
Depends on which one you're doing.
Fuck you.
it's so. It's super intelligent though. Like I think Mortal Kombat is my second favorite fighting series after Tekken.
It's super intelligent. This game where I could rip someone's spine out by their anus.
What does that have to do with intelligence?
Nothing,
Okay, good.
because it's not intelligent.
What?
Well, I think like we're arguing over something stupid when we all know Power Stone is the best fighting series of all time.
Never played it.
But see, the thing is, Frog knows exactly what I'm getting at because it's kind of a joke. Like,
Power Stone. It's goofy.
The only thing I know about Power Stone is that it's a Smash Brothers knockoff.
It's like an arena thing.
did it come? It didn't come before Smash. No. I've decided though that I'm no longer doing a fight stick. I'm gonna get a retro controller for $30. And I'm just.
Like
When
a,
were you gonna get a fight stick?
a hit pad?
I was gonna get a Switch box.
Oh yeah, the
Nah,
Mixbox.
man.
Mixbox.
Yeah, Mixbox.
I
not
want
Switchbox, sorry.
one of those, except it's not a Mixbox. It's just a WASD on a controller.
Yeah,
I
no,
want
that's
to connect
exactly
the
what I'm
game
like.
directly to my brain.
But after watching that one girl, come on with like a Pelican controller from 2003,
Fucking
Dude, yeah.
She almost bought him with a fucking Fisher Price controller.
Yeah, that was I nearly lost my damn mind when I saw that. Like that was great.
Yeah, no, someone in the tournament like brought this fourth party controller.
It's one of the
stage.
see-through controllers you get from Walmart.
Yeah.
That just is like shaded blue.
She was doing good with it though.
Yeah, she was. I'm surprised you couldn't hear the creaking.
Yeah.
Because
No,
those things are held together by spit, tape, and fucking date rape.
And cool.
Well, like that. Oh jeez.
Oh no.
The one thing to this day that drives me absolutely bonkers, and I hate it. Back when like my little brothers and I used to play, like we would have like a small selection of games to play. We would play Smash Brothers Melee all the time. And weirdly enough, I'm not a Smash Brothers Melee whiner. I'm like, yeah, it was a good series. Smash Brothers Melee, my father bought us like 4 Pelican controllers. And those controllers are so bad that if any point you plug a Pelican controller into your GameCube, the game will just crash. So it's like, okay.
See, I absolutely love shitty off-brand controllers. I had
I liked Mad Cats. That was my thing.
Mad Cats is so bad.
That Cats actually makes some decent fight sticks nowadays, oddly enough.
Well,
Oh yeah, but like classic Mad Cats, they were
Yeah.
built by Mad
Oh
Cats.
no, I had a few. They were whew.
I used to play way back when. Actually, it was whenever I was homeless, so it was 2014.
jeez, I this always depresses me. Like, gosh,
the most.
Really, we're gonna complain about depression now?
Is
Well,
Mad Cat's
like,
the most
you're somebody-
successful company who puts out the worst shit?
yeah, I would say Pelican.
no, it's
was
Disney.
For that.
I don't even know who Pelican is, so probably less successful.
Oh,
That's probably
but, like,
Alaska
But no,
only.
Mike, like, you know, it's one thing if it's just somebody I see at an airport. It's another thing when it's like my friend who's like, yeah, I was homeless at one point. I'm like, jeez, man, I'm sorry.
I've been homeless several points in my life.
All right, so this has been
what
the We
happens-
Hate Anime podcast.
We didn't even
this
talk
has been
about
the-
any of our anime yet. I'm so upset.
We're doing the seasonal review next episode.
Are we?
I mean, hey, okay. Here's the deal, guys. Keep your hands off Aizoken. It's great.
Watch it. Doro Hetero, watch it.
I
it's
thought you
okay.
said Doro for a second.
No, Doro Hetero is phenomenal, and it's made by probably the best company, Mappa.
just
The
read it.
only reason Moth is saying that is because Mappa, and if he recognizes a name, he'll latch onto it like a child.
Eat a dick. Mappa is phenomenal.
Mappa is like the most inconsistent studio on the planet.
Mappa doing
Mappa
Kakagure,
in Mappa in 2020 is Gonzo from 2007.
Shingeki no Bahamut. Like, come on.
They also
Proving
made the
points.
Inuyashiki thing, which
Inuyashiki, yeah. They also did the abomination called Punchline, but nobody's perfect.
You need to wait.
They also did Garo Vanishing
Those
Line,
White
which is
Fox.
the best Garo.
That's not even true. The best Garo is the live action one.
No, the
Because
best
that's what
Garo
Garo
is
is.
Vanishing Line, and I will fight you over that.
But yeah, this season is pretty great. We
like two
obviously know
shows.
we obviously aren't going to go over it now. I haven't even made the list for them to fucking watch yet because there's some stuff that like only has
Everything
had
just is
one episode
coming
so
out
far.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Mike,
actually is.
I have a question for you.
what to do?
Would you be interested in going out with me for the intention of potentially getting married?
Is this I'm confused. Wait, is this a reference to like one of the shows? I don't know how this works.
It's
You
a reference to an anime about a little girl who is the god of wisdom.
Yeah, it's called Inspector.
Gadget?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she does have a prosthetic leg, so
Hell
kinda.
yeah.
Yeah, and a prosthetic eyeball, which apparently
she's not a-
shifts every time she looks at something.
She's not a little girl. She's 17. I love Inspector. I can't wait to talk about it. I've watched
it's,
both episodes that are out.
What's weird is my wife doesn't like it, but I do. And I'm like, this is not the anime that I like. This is the anime you like. Like, why are we switching sides on this one?
It's it feels honestly it has a feeling very similar to God, what's the name of that show I really like? Beyond the Boundary. Its Japanese name is escaping me. But it's one of those shows that got me back into anime. Just because it's like modern day setting with like monsters. It's really cool. It has a good like little mystery. I want to find out why the fuck this guy is feared by fucking ghosts.
Because he ate two different yokai's flesh at the same time and went insane.
Yeah, one of them made him immortal, which was the mermaid flesh, and the other one made him scary. And I want to find out more about that.
Can we talk about another anime that I just don't even like? I know we need to do the seasonal review, but like, what the hell is the Hanako anime right now?
That's the one about the toilet demon.
Yeah, is it a seinen? Is it a shoujo? Is it a comedy? Is it a like a shonen? Like, I don't understand what this is.
I haven't watched it yet, so I don't really even know. I just know people have been posting about it.
I have
Yeah,
not
it's so-
even seen a thing about it.
Just watch the first episode. The second episode isn't much different. It's just like, gosh.
Oh yeah, we will. Like, I mean, Moth, did you watch the fucking show? Did you watch the show about the gay Chunibyo that's from the season yet?
The gay what?
Gay Chunibyo.
What
Did you watch
what's
the
a
best
Chunibyo?
show this season that isn't Isaacin? The one for Coomers?
Which
Oh
one's that?
yeah, that's Ishika Shigaka review.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Interviews-
the one that nobody is gonna host because the glorified
Yeah.
OVA porno.
Literally is, yeah.
It's not. Here's the deal. It's weird. It's not an OVA porno. It's just like. Have you watched it yet, Moth?
No, no, I have not
You-
because it's okay.
You're gonna watch it. It's not porn. It's like a it's good character designs, pretty decent comedy, really good, like fantastic production.
It's
And then
way too
occasionally
good of a
there-
production for what it is.
I got the two Coomers telling me to watch porn. All right.
No,
It's actually kind of a
Listen.
funny comedy, to be fair.
it is
I saw someone on Twitter complaining about how it objectifies the women in it. I'm like, it's kind
they're
of
literally sex workers.
yeah. I'm like confused here. It's like
They're
all
literally reviewing sex workers.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
see what the like. What'd you expect going in?
The one anime that hell has frozen over because not only am I enjoying a borderline isekai, I'm enjoying a borderline isekai where the main character is a moe girl. And it is the weirdest thing on the planet for me right now.
Is this that one with the shield girl?
Yeah, the girl who doesn't want to get hurt.
Yeah,
I think
I want to watch that too, but no one picked it up.
Well, here's no, Hulu did.
Oh, fuck Hulu.
Well, I got Disney Plus, so I get Hulu for free.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
But what it is it's very bizarre. It's and I think the reason I like it is it just reminds me of when I used to play Ragnarok Online before like my life came crashing down on me. But it's basically a little girl who doesn't understand how to play MMOs, and so she's like, "Man, I just don't want my character to die." So she puts all of her points in vitality, and it starts to like abstractly affect all of her other stats. So she can't move. She can't really attack, but all of her equipment does the damage for her, and she cannot be injured. Like, high-level players can't even scratch her.
She's accidentally discovered a broken build.
Well, and it's just stat dumping. And that was a thing in Ragnarok Online. Like, if you wanted to be a gunslinger, you just stat dumped into dexterity, and it reached the point where nobody could hit you, so you'd have an assassin trying to slap the shit out of you while you're reloading your guns, and he can't even touch you to stagger you and keep you from reloading. Like,
So yeah, there are a lot of pretty good shows this season.
it's weird, yeah. I would say there's more good anime this season than there has been since this season with Golden Kamui.
Yeah, it's a really stacked beginning of the year.
I like two of them.
Dorohedoro.
You've also only watched 2 of them.
I watched 3 of them.
But yeah, next episode we're gonna go into it a lot more because for whatever reason the release of the anime this season has been so fucking sporadic. We got shows that are just like premiered a few days ago.
Yeah, it's weird. Not sure why. It's been.
But I wanted to make sure there was enough out so that if we liked it, we could keep watching to have a better opinion on it. So when we do talk about it, we don't just say like there's a show this season that is about gay stargirls, and I liked the first episode, and everything after that's been boring. And if I had jumped on the gun and we'd done it this episode, I probably would have been like, yeah, it's all right. It might get better. I've dropped the show.
Well, realize that like last season I started with 12 shows and I dropped all but 3 of them, so that's not uncommon.
I think last season, most of the shows that I talked about, I ended up finishing. But anyway, we'll talk about that more next episode. This has been the fucking Great Depression podcast.
The Great Depression.
And thanks you guys for tuning in. This has been, more of a low-key episode.
Yeah, it's
I mean, we
the
just had, like, a
recovering
big,
from
big,
the
big
anime
one,
of
so-
the decade.
It's real. This episode exists as it is because we needed a buffer between another list.
Yeah, don't make me do 2 lists back to back. It's going to be like in a year from now when we do the Anime of the Year podcast versus, and then like the new season starts and I'm going to be like, Mike, don't do this to me again, man, please.
Oh, you won't have to worry about it. I will have killed you by then.
You've dragged your ass up to Alaska just to murder me?
Hell yeah, I'll go to fucking Alaska Con and beat the shit out of
Alaskon.
Good luck.
as you
I'm
will.
between 2 state lines.
you. Alright guys, thanks so much for coming, and hopefully next time you can come a little more.
Gross. Not.
Honestly, I don't think we could talk about cum like any more than we did this episode.
I mean, I told literally the most creepiest story I've ever told.
There's no
that I've
anime
never
in this
told
episode
anybody.
whatsoever.
Hey, there
talked
was
I'm
about-
disappointed
anime.
for our viewers.
Frog, we are,
four of
if
them.
I am correct, the We Hate Anime podcast. It is on brand to not talk about anime.
It's true. He's not wrong.
Our job's to be on brand. Off brand, I mean. Wait.
そんな優